But first, right now at noon, ICE agents are in Atlanta deployed to the world's busiest airport under the direction of President Donald Trump and the Department of Homeland Security. Thanks for being with us. I'm Brooks Baptiste. It's been another day of chaos at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International, with thousands of travelers waiting up to 4 hours just to get through security this morning. Atlanta News First reporter Mary Kate Hamilton has been there all morning and all day long. And Mary Kate, certainly different to see those armed officers there this morning.
That's right, Brooks, and that really has been the biggest difference this morning. The lines still remained long. However, ICE agents, Homeland Security investigations officers, the Atlanta SWAT team, Atlanta police officers, and of course, airport security, all a big force here this morning. And I spent the morning talking with travelers about the long wait times and the added law enforcement. ICE agents and Homeland Security investigations officers arrived to Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport this morning. The Department of Homeland Security finalized a plan overnight to deploy them to airports nationwide, aimed at supporting TSA operations during the shutdown and easing security backups. But at ATL today, travelers say they're not seeing an impact.
But they're here, they're not helping. But I didn't expect them to either. What was their job? They can't do anything to help people through. They're not trained in it.
Lines stretched outside the terminal, some waiting more than an hour just to get inside. Airport officials advise travelers to arrive at least 4 hours before departure. Airport workers now on the 4th day of mass security backups are feeling the burden.
There's a lot of chaos in here. I can't maneuver through this. I don't know what to do.
When ICE come, I don't know how it's going to turn out. Hope there's no chaos.
Traveler Amy Schwartz worries the added law enforcement presence could raise tensions.
TSA workers need the help, but ICE isn't the answer. I think just the mass of people. I think there's just always tension already, and to turn around and throw ICE in it when everything's happening around the our states and everything, I think just bad energy, honestly.
And frustration continues to build, with some travelers calling on the government to reopen as the partial federal government shutdown stretches into its 37th day.
Yeah, it's unacceptable. You just need Congress to get up, and do their jobs, but they've never really done their jobs the past number of years, so I don't expect it to improve.
And the line still long here this afternoon. If you can believe it, this is a little bit of a break from what we saw this morning. At one point, the lines were so long this morning that airport workers were handing out bottled water. I've also spoken with some travelers who say instead of trying to rebook a flight after missing it because of long security lines, they're simply going to drive across the country. A big question I've received from travelers while walking through the airport, they're asking me, how long is this going to last? That's an answer we do not have. Reporting live at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, Mary Kate Hamilton, Atlanta News First.
And Mary Kate, I've heard from some of my friends as well who said they have just taken their chances driving because they refuse to get stuck in that line. Thanks for that report there.